Good evening, class, and welcome to our grammar lesson for tonight, proofreading for spelling. Let's begin by taking a look at our instructions. Find the misspelled words and circle them. Write them correctly on the lines below. So let's begin. The big game is Thursday night after the varsity player auction. Well, we see auction is spelled A-U-X-T-I-O-N, but if we look over here and find auction, we'll see that it's spelled A-U-C-T-I-O-N. So we first need to circle auction, and we need to write it on our line below. A-U-C-T-I-O-N. Let's keep going. We'll be given a royal welcome as we warm up. Well, wait a second. We see that royal is spelled R-O-I-Y-A-L, and if we look over here, we see that royal is spelled R-O-Y-A-L. The I should not be in there, so let's circle that and correct it at the bottom. R-O-Y-A-L. I wonder if I can avoid, and we see that avoid is spelled A-V-O-Y-D, and if we look over here, avoid is spelled A-V-O-I-D. So we need to circle it and write its correct spelling at the bottom, A-V-O-I-D. All right, you guys keep going. You can pause the video here in order to complete your packet page. Now, let's look at our grammar lesson, making comparisons and using negatives correctly. It says, incorrect, they won't never. And if you see, won't is a contraction for will not. So we would actually be saying they will not never cancel the game. So we can't use two negatives in a sentence. So technically, we don't even need the word never. The correct way of writing it is they won't cancel the game even if it snows. Now, let's take a look. I've never seen such a large crowd. The crowd at last week's game was larger. And we see by making it the comparison between last week's game and this week's game was larger. Then we have the final game of the season attracts the largest crowd of all. Now we're comparing one game to all the games, and that's when we use EST. So if we're just describing a noun, it's large. If we're comparing two, it's larger. If we're comparing all of them, it's largest. So let's keep going. These are good athletic shoes. Now, good is one of those ones that we actually have to change the word. Instead of adding ER or EST, we actually have to change the word. Those are better athletic shoes than these. Now, we're still comparing two items, but we change it from good to better. And his athletic shoes are the best. So we went from good to better to best. And we use best when we're saying that these are better than all the others. Another irregular one is Lynn got off to a bad start, where we're using it as an adjective to just describe start. However, when we're comparing two things, it goes from bad to Heidi got off to a worse start than Lynn. So now we're comparing two things, so instead of using bad, we use the word worse. Philip got off to the worst start of all. Now we're comparing Philip's start to everybody's start. Right? That player moves naturally. He moves more naturally than I do. He moves the most naturally of all the players. And we use more and most in these instances because it ends in ly. So we cannot add ER or EST to it, so instead we have to add more or most. So we're going to write the word or words that incorrectly complete the sentence. So we have the choice of isn't or is. So this game is or isn't nothing like our first game? Well, since we've already got nothing, we know we don't need another negative. So we use the word is. This game is nothing like our first game. Let's look at number 2. We have the choice of more skillfully or most skillfully. Billy plays soccer blank than Robert plays. Well, we see that we're comparing Billy to Robert, so we're comparing two items. So when we compare two items, we would only have to use more. So we know that our correct answer is more skillfully. Well, let's do one more. We got choices of better or best. The team has a blank chance of winning this game. Well, we see that the team, this game, we know that only 2 teams compete in a game, so our answer is better. And we would write that on the line. Okay, you guys can pause the video and finish this page. And I will see you in class tomorrow.